Docker provides a networking model that allows containers to communicate with each other and with other services on the network. Here are some basics of Docker networking. Docker networks. Docker has a built-in networking subsystem called Docker Networks, which enables containers to communicate with each other and other services on the network. Types of networks. Docker supports 4 types of networks: bridge, host, overlay, and makla, each with different properties and use cases. Bridge network. A bridge network connects containers to each other using the Docker daemon as a virtual router. Bridge networks are the default type of network for containers. Host network. A host network attaches the container directly to the host network stack, giving it the same network capabilities as the host. Overlay network. An overlay network allows containers running on different hosts to communicate with each other as if they were on the same network segment. Makla network. A makla network allows containers to have their own MAC address and appear as a physical device on the network. Creating a network. You can create a Docker network using the Docker network create command. By default, new containers are attached to the default bridge network. Connecting containers. You can connect containers to a network using the Docker network connect command. This allows the containers to communicate with each other using the network. Exposing ports. To allow external services to access a container, you can expose ports using the -p flag when starting the container or by using the -expose flag when creating the network. Network drivers. Docker supports different network drivers that allow you to extend the functionality of Docker networks. For example, you can use third-party network drivers like Calico or ViewNet to provide advanced networking features. Use DNS for service discovery. Docker provides an internal DNS server that can be used for service discovery. By default, containers can resolve the host names of other containers on the same network. Use container names as host names. When connecting containers together, you can use the container name as the host name instead of the IP address. This makes your networking configuration more portable and easier to manage. Use container labels for service discovery. You can use container labels to provide metadata about a container, such as its name, version, or role. This metadata can be used for service discovery and other automation tasks. Use network aliases. You can assign network aliases to containers, allowing them to have multiple names on the network. This is useful when running multiple instances of the same container. Use network segmentation. You can use Docker networks to segment your application into different parts, such as front-end and back-end. This allows you to apply different networking policies and security controls to each part of your application. Use network plugins. Docker allows you to use third-party network plugins to extend the functionality of Docker networks. For example, you can use network plugins to implement advanced networking features like load balancing or network encryption. By using Docker networking, you can easily connect your containers and services together and build complex network topologies for your applications.